Stand by.
Mace 2 with Bot Vets, Shane Howard and Brian Fountain. And Stinger with the Kevin Scott, Carl Skinner and Jonathan Peli team.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
And it's Mace 2 which gets off to the fastest start. In comes Stinger, which, even though it can be flipped over, has what we in Robot Wars call a Shrimex, a self-righting mechanism, which we've seen in the past can prove so very, very vital. But it's Mace 2 doing all the work there. And again, Stinger goes up and crashes that great grinding wheel against the floor of the arena. What on earth for? Wasted energy here. Being turned by Mace 2. And Stinger crashes off into the distance again like some massive flailing insect, hopping and bouncing around like a Mad March hare. In again to a... Do they really know what they're doing? Should we have tested them for booze beforehand, I wonder? Mace 2 in underneath Stinger again. Turning and toppling, oh, spinning madly. This is great fun. In against the arena wall, they want to give that some punishment. Oh. Well, it was only a matter of time, wasn't it? Absolute Looney Tunes from the Stinger team. Bouncing off Mace 2. Oh, dear. Well, the sting in the tail was that Stinger is well and truly stung.
Yes. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Not only did Stuart Pearson build bombs, but also detonators at a young age. Spikosaurus just rolled over by Bulldog Breed. Roll over for a tickle on the tongue. Got straight up, which is good to see. Stinger with the great axe on the back, slamming down like a mighty pendulum. They say it's better than the pizza cutter. Well, boys, we didn't see the pizza cutter last time round. You were in the pit too quickly. Spikosaurus going good mobility up to 17 miles an hour. And on the right-hand side, Bulldog Breed 2 on the left with the front flipper. Bang, bang, bang goes Stinger. Onto the arena floor. Hey! The hoppity-hop for Stinger. All the controls, by the way, the motors, the power electronics, are mounted in the wheel. Spikosaurus bounces down, a little bit lucky. Stinger flies around. Does a bit of a wheelie and a spin. Bulldog Breed, a lot more cursory in its approach. More pensive, taking on Spikosaurus and rolling it. Shunt came out briefly, Spikosaurus away to attack Stinger. Stinger up on one side. It's mad, isn't it, Stinger? Look at this. He doesn't care, Stinger. Bulldog Breed flew it up in the air, comes back down. You're supposed to attack the other robots, the house robots, not the arena floor with the weapon. Who's in control of that Stinger weapon? Who's driving it? Is there anyone there at home? Meanwhile, Spikosaurus is locked onto the arena wall. We saw that. Comes out now flying. Stinger revolves madly. Great value. In comes Bulldog Breed 2 with a little flick underneath Spikosaurus again. This is very close, you know. Stinger's doing its own thing out there. Like the loony who dances by himself in the disco on a Friday night. You've all seen them. You've all been there. Well, I have. I know. That's another point, though. This is shunting on Spikosaurus. A Bulldog Breed slams Spikosaurus almost back into the CPZ now. Shunt came out very, very hungrily and says, Bulldog, you're mine. Come on. Oh, hey, Stinger in on the attack again. Bulldog Breed 2's lifting ramp seemed to be open, stuck open. Is it stuck open? I wonder. Hey, gets the axe from Shunt anyway. I don't think it's going to be closing at all. Stinger, there's the bag glove. Who's he? Who was that in there? With the great curly perm. Great stuff. Stinger spinning. Spikosaurus flipping. He's pointing. He's flipping, barking. That's what he is. And the Bulldog stands still.
Stand by.
Here we have Hammer and Tong then. Stuart Smith's a consultant engineer. Paul Schmidt, a garage owner. Oliver Smith's at Queen Elizabeth Grammar School. And there's Stinger. One thing that amazes me about Tim Mann and the crew, they've got 50 friends at all.
3, 2, 1.
Only joking, boys. The whole of the village is here, they say. Slower start for Stinger, building up pace. Can get up to 18 miles an hour. Slow revolution. In comes the big axe. And she described it to us as a narrow-shaped axe. It's a mighty one. Bashes down onto the top of Hammer and Tong. Scavenged the flipper Hammer and Tong from a mate. The spike. Oh, it's been bent, has it? to see that again. No, it's okay. Folded back on itself, the spike, as a protection. As it slammed on the arena floor, it's okay. Very unusual robot, super design. Really, the design in this series, from all the robots, has been so splendid. The sportsmanship, in the pits, out of the pits. The minds that put Stinger together, something else. Bashing down on Hammer and Tong again. Well, it's not a great display of mobility around the arena, is it? Oh, crunching down on the arena floor, the spike. Underneath, Hammer and Tong comes Stinger. Oh, attack from the rear. Spinning again, but Hammer and Tong just watches for him to stop before maybe attacking. No. Has Hammer and Tong been immobilised here? Immobilised longer than 30 seconds, boys, you're out. Matilda comes in. There's Kill-A-Lot. I think Hammer and Tong, something's gone wrong inside. I think they're immobilised. Kill-A-Lot does so. Look at that. Crumpling, crushing, formidable force from Kill-A-Lot. And Hammer and Tong, all that work that's gone into that robot. Such a shame. But something went wrong with the internals, and that was the end of it. It's Stinger that go through. They look pensive, just watching on, but they know really their damage has been done. They know that Hammer and Tong are out of it. Kill-A-Lot, bash, dead metal in the middle. Oh dear. Oh, makes you weak, doesn't it? Does it? No, not really. If truth be known. In comes Kill-A-Lot. Again with that lance. You see the lance? It could have twisted, turn, and really grind in the guts of a robot. Just held aloft. Oh! The arena flipper. That's great. I love that. When that happens, over goes Hammer and Tong.
Cease.
And Stinger dancing with delight. There's the bank. Robert Summerfield there.
3, 2, 1.
14-year-old Robert is the weapons operator for Bulldog Breed 2. There's Stinger. Just spinning so wildly. Just easily bumping up on the side of the wedge-shaped Bulldog Breed 2 from Walsall, Stinger from Lincoln. That is a fairly fierce weapon, isn't it? But is there any great control of the weaponry? Does it matter, really? I don't know. It comes slamming in on Bulldog Breed 2. No, veers away in the end. They're a bit tentative here, aren't they? Just feeling each other out. I don't know why. They know all about each other. They fought together against Spinosaurus. That's a bit dangerous, going on the playing pit. Don't forget, inside those rubber tyres, the wheels, all the controls, custom-made wheels on small motorbike wheels, in fact. Up and over, Bulldog Breed 2, using the flipper. Control, style, damage and aggression. Matters in Robot Wars. Very close, this one. That's the Bulldog Breed 2 team we've just seen. Stinger, a side attack on the Bulldog. The jaws of the Bulldog are open. Ah! CO2 being vented there! Bulldog Breed 2, we can see gases coming out again. See this earlier in the programme. That's a pressure problem. That'll affect the flipper. Bulldog Breed 2 is in trouble here. Listen to the gas escaping. You can see the CO2 coming out underneath Bulldog Breed 2. That's such a shame. Stinger looks to be home and hosed here. Oh, that's such a shame. Oh, look at Bulldog Breed 2 now. Smoke, sparks from dead metal. Rotten end to what looked like being a fantastic heat final. Building up nicely. In comes Shant and Matilda now. They have their prey with which to play. Dead metal slicing. There's the Stinger fan club. I want to see the lad with the wig. Well, is it a wig? One wonders. Bulldog Breed about to be chomped. Oh, a bone of contention. The Bulldog with the house robots. There's Kill-A-Lot. It's great when you see Kill-A-Lot turning and spinning like that, tossing away a robot. Oh, crumpled though, bent and buckled, and in comes dead metal again. Question here now of Bulldog Breed 2 counting down the precious seconds to the end of the heat final just for damage limitation. They know they're beaten up and over. Up and over to whom? To Kill-A-Lot, of all people. Up and away she goes. And there he waits. in the blink of an eye, a red, horrible eye.
Stand by.
There's Stinger with team captain Kevin Scott there in the middle at the controls, a design engineer, a mousetrap with Jason Launchbury, a computer engineer for a software company there on the left.
2, 1.
Jason coached by Dad Stan. Just a little bit of a nudge underneath Stinger. In the earlier battles, those Stinger tyres were vulnerable to spikes all around the arena and to an attack. Mousetrap has this punishing 11-kilo force of trap weapon coming down there on the spring attack. Again, cocked back to come forward once again. They launch themselves at Stinger. Stinger tends to throw itself around an arena floor and spinning wildly on its side comes down now with that mighty mace-type axe there, crashing down. You can hear it reverberate on the arena floor. What control do the Stinger boys have? We have suspected that from time to time. Lovely to see it dancing and pirouetting, but not greatly effective. And don't forget, as we battle through to our 2 finalists from this second semi-final, the judges could be called in to make decisions, and they will judge on style, control, damage, and aggression. Stinger for me, and Kevin Scott doing all the work. Mousetrap tries to get away. Something's come off the side of Mousetrap. I think it's the chain that's used to control the trap weapon. It was damaged in the earlier rounds. You heard Jason talk about it, and I think that the Mousetrap weapon has been immobilised. Certainly, Jason looks perplexed. Just see down in the background there, a Mousetrap here. Now without the weapon, literally has to use the wedge shape to nudge Stinger in towards a pit or a CPZ, the corner patrol zone, controlled by house robots like Matilda on the top of the picture there, waiting to come out, but this does not look good for Mousetrap. And those earlier victories, Evil Weevil, Something, Little Fly, Tiberius all gone from the earlier heat now mean nothing for Mousetrap as the house robots come in for the kill. That shunt with the axe, penetrating the polycarbonate top there of Mousetrap. And that's the end for them. That's Kill-A-Lot. You can see the chain split there, completely broken, dangling forlornly. The pit of oblivion descends. A little bit of Welsh rarebit first of all, perhaps, for the cheese left in the Mousetrap, which failed to catch Stinger. And the Lincolnshire robot goes through. Mousetrap, I'm afraid, goes to the flames. Once we decide to show a little bit of mercy, Kill-A-Lot will take it ultimately to the pit. Resistance is futile, said one of the banners. And the long run for Mousetrap, brave it has been, ends right there and now. Cease.
Stand by.
Stinger. What can the boys do here? Kevin Scott, Carl Skinner and Tim Mann. Kevin at the controls against Panic Attack with the experienced Kim Davis, his son Michael from Llantarnam Comprehensive. Christian Bridge in that team as well. This for a place in the series final, don't forget. Panic Attack 2. Been there before, of course. Just moving forward, cursory fashion, against Stinger. Stinger with the heavier weighted weapon. Panic Attack have those lifting forks. Couldn't get any purchase on Stinger. They have their own fan club, of course. Panic Attack, a little ram against the arena's sidewall. Stinger, as they whiz around like that, Stinger, they can get a lot of momentum behind that weapon, and it becomes almost like a pendulum with force, also with venom. Panic Attack now, moving. Well, I thought to try and get it a broadside perhaps and attack the wheels, flick it up and over, but again, good driving by Stinger and Kevin Scott. This is Panic Attack, trying to use those forks again, look. Stinger moving in a more wild pattern than Panic Attack. Steadier progress by Kim Davis now. In and out of a CPZ very quickly, so Matilda couldn't get any grip on the Welsh robot. Panic Attack seems to have a scheme. Stinger seems to want to swing and spin around to get that axe, as I was mentioning, like a pendulum, coming down with force. Comes down again. Shell steel of Stinger's real hubcaps, not bruised in any way, I don't think. Scratch maybe, but not sustaining any real damage. Oh, and did Panic Attack go through with an attack there and just edge into a CPZ? Stinger against the arena side wall. Panic Attack now has gone into the CPZ. Matilda can come out. Grabs on a Stinger. Stinger thrusts back in, almost onto the back of Panic Attack. This is close. I think this one could well go to the judges. There's Tim Davis with controls of Panic Attack, and there's Kevin Scott who just seemingly controls of Stinger. Again, riding piggyback fashion. Panic Attack doing more of the work now. Aggression, very important. Should it go to the judges? A lick of flame. Haven't seen anyone test those wheels of Stinger on customised motorbike frames. Attack on the top of Panic Attack. Rat attack, tap. To remind Panic Attack they're still there. It's going to go to the judges. It's close, isn't it? I think they've done enough. Just.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Replacing the grand final against Pussycat. Chaos 2 lining up the flipper immediately to get in underneath the back axle of Stinger. But that won't worry Stinger. But bounce, spin and come down. Look at the bounce of those customised motorbike wheels. Little damage. You have to get Stinger towards the arena wall, Chaos 2, and get him out of the arena. And also dodge that swinging pendulum axe type mace. Bang and crash. Bash. There's George Francis at the controls of Chaos 2. Little Richard from Castle Hill Junior School alongside him. And another attack on Stinger. The flipper rises, settles into its mounting. Chaos 2 hops and skips. A little bit of a jump, turns. Stinger also spins. Oh, and there's the power of the weapon. Did you see crashing on the side there of Chaos 2? At the moment, though, polycarbonate aluminium strong enough, but they've got into a CPZ. That's done. And I think they might have sustained damage. Have a look at this again. As they go into Stinger here, look, the backplate comes off. That's what Kevin Scott said he'd do. Knock the backplate off, and George Francis now knows that the very innards of Chaos 2 are vulnerable and exposed. They went into the CPZ, which wasn't good control, and also they've left themselves now vulnerable to attack. Surely not another major surprise here. Both the favourites, the seeds, to crash out. Chaos 2 has a lot of work to do, because if this goes to the judges, they will mark on damage, style, control and aggression, and Stinger, very aggressive. Of course the damage. Chaos 2 needs to get in under and have a couple of flips. Again, I wonder how many machines in future wars will copycat the design of Stinger. Chaos 2 has bashed it into the CPZ, and now Dead Metal, momentarily had Stinger in its claws. Away goes Stinger. Look at this. This is a good drive here by Chaos 2. Digging in deep. Stinger flicked up into the CPZ. Dead Metal had control. Chaos 2 tried to roll them both out of the arena. And Stinger dug deep with the mace itself. Lives to fight again. Spin Stinger. This is going to be close. I just wonder whether that damage you can see there could be telling as it goes to the judges to decide who leads Pussycat in the grand final of Robot War. Just 50 seconds in the last wars, but they're back with a speedy machine up to 18 miles an hour, custom-made wheels fashioned from motorbikes, and they have an axe if necessary.
Stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Now, every robot so far has gone towards the barrels. 5 points for each barrel knocked down, but not Stinger, goodness me, very nearly into the pit and out. Well, they're going for the bridge, I wonder. I'm not too sure. There's the axe trying to knock barrels down now. Need to get points on the board. They have scored 0. 10 now. 5 points for each barrel and into the pit. Can they get themselves out? They can. Nudged in there by Dead Metal. You can get up and over the bridge with a completed run. You score 20 points. There's the 50-point target. That's well done. Dodging in behind Bash. That's steady stuff so far then from Stinger, from Lincoln. Down there's the multi-ball release. Again, 10 points for the release. Every ball into a pit will get you another 5 points. Dodging Dead Metal, and Kilolot's behind you. Kilolot has the freedom of the arena floor. 3. Narrow shape, axe blade swings backwards and forth like a pendulum. Steady.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man who thought a court-martial was a tennis umpire, Craig Charles.
Welcome to the special edition of Robot Wars. And congratulations on tuning in to what is going to be the mechanical mother of all wars, the Annihilator. Yes, gathered here today are the most destructive, brutal and downright devastating robots from the last 4 series of Robot Wars. If Vinnie Jones was a robot, he'd be cowering in his tool shed. Now, the way the Annihilator works is simple. All of our 6 robots are thrown in the arena together. There they fight until one of them is clearly eliminated or time runs out. With one robot annihilated, the survivors are then given time to make repairs before all 5 prepare to do battle again. It's 6 down to 5, down to 4, and so on, until 2 robotic gods enter one decisive battle. This week, all of our robots are from the north, so let's see who's up to the challenge.
Oh yes, Craig, at the top there we have Spikosaurus, then the reigning UK champions Chaos 2. Reading clockwise from then on, war veteran, suicidal tendencies, the axe of Dominator 2, the crazy world of Stinger. It kills, it hurts, it's killer hurts.
This is the Annihilator. 6 robots go into the arena for a no-holds-barred battle, and only one will come out alive. It's going to be mayhem. Starting up, we have the Northern rounds. This is Spikosaurus. It's got 2 fixed 12-inch spikes here. It self-rights, and it can pull a car. From Lincoln, we have Stinger, designed by 3 engineers. The motors are in here. When it slows down, that's when the arm flips over, and if it puts it into reverse, you get a real sting from that. Ouch. Kilohertz. This has got a unique car driving system. Most of them work like a tank, but this one's got a car, so it should have better drivability, we hope. They've also got a pneumatically powered axe there, which will come down with about a ton of pressure, so I hear. On suicidal tendencies, no doubt. Now, we've got a pneumatic lifting fork there with spikes. That's going to be painful. That's bulletproof polycarbonate. It works both ways up. And this one I've had dreams about. It's Dominator! Plasma nitride coated titanium, that, which makes it very durable indeed. They've also got a pneumatic axe, which will come down with about a ton of pressure. That's like a Land Rover landing on your foot. And they're up against the reigning champions, Chaos 2. They pump liquid CO2 into their flipper, which gives it that awesome action that we've seen before, where robots get tossed straight out of the arena. So this really will separate the men from the boys and the bots from the toys.
Yes, folks, we've seen some pretty ferocious fighting on Robot Wars, but this promises to be the most exciting yet. So if you're ready to rumble, let the annihilation begin!
From Lincoln, seed number 30, Stinger.
They had steering problems in Series 3, went straight into a pit after 50 seconds. This is a spinning, whirling dervish with a venomous axe, customised motorbike wheels, a top speed of 18 miles an hour, and it's seeded 30. Very quick across the arena floor, but when the wheels stop, the axe comes down with mighty power. Virtually indestructible, difficult to get hold of. Difficult to steer, yes, but when it spins, look at the power of that axe once again. Watch out for Stinger. This one's going to go very close in the Annihilator.
This is Carl Skinner, and I'm Kevin Scott from the Stinger team. We've got a really strong robot here, but we're up against 6 of the toughest robots in the series. We're going to go in there, we're going to give them hell, and we're going to kill them.
From Huntington, Dominator 2.
The motto of this team is ram it, hit it, push it. 2 industrial motors generating up to 20 miles an hour. Pneumatic axe is the weapon, a plasma nitride-coated titanium shell. Now you know. A unique bi-wedge shape, speed across the arena floor, good control as well, manoeuvrability, and then you've got that pneumatic axe slamming down. Certainly too strong for shadow of napalm there. Dominator 2, a zero turning circle, can spin the rest into oblivion.
Hi, welcome to the Dominator team. I'm Pete, the captain. Got Paul, weapons man, Chris, the auxiliary man. Paul's now going to tell you a bit about the robot.
Right, this is Dominator 2. Plasma nitride coated titanium shell, 1.8mm thick, nothing goes through it. 150 psi, pneumatic axe, axes its way through all 5 competitors in this Annihilator round.
From Oxford, seeded number 16, Kilohertz.
The hardened steel blade and pneumatic axe have proved too much for too many in the past. 2 motors, wheels from go-karts. Can the killer hurt once again?
We'll
we're just about to go into a big fight, 5 robots. I come from a family of 5, so I think I'm used to fighting for every bit of food on the table. I think we'll survive.
Looking forward to using our new improved axe. Poke a few holes in people. Should be fun.
From Derby, seeded number 31, Suicidal Tendencies.
Seeded because the Tendencies has a dangerous toothpick axe and front fork lifter. The shell is bulletproof, it runs on tracks of aluminium. Is it on track for success here, though? Heavy, powerful, tenacious. 2 1400-watt motors. Those tracks give it drive and punishing penetration, as Maverick and Wheelosaurus found out.
Hi, I'm Charles Binns, this is Andrew Jeffrey, and this is Suicidal Tendencies. We're going into a battle with 6 robots soon. We've got a big axe, going to take some chunks out of people, some big lifters at the front, titanium, track, very powerful. Somebody's going to get hurt in there, and hopefully it's not going to be us, and we're going to win, and we're going to survive.
From Manchester, Spikosaurus.
A spiky character indeed, with its 2 12-inch prongs of high tensile steel and an interchangeable ramming bar, can pull a car, can race 17 miles an hour, but can it take punishment?
Hi, we're Team Spikosaurus. I'm Stuart, my brother Andrew, friend Andrea. This is the most awesome robot in Annihilator today. We've got roll bars, so if we do get tipped up, we can roll straight back over. We've got 2 awesome spikes on the front. They will just pierce through any armour and damage all sorts of weaponry inside. And we're just going to kick some robot butt.
From Ipswich, seed number 1 and reigning champion, Chaos 2.
Finalists in Series 1, overall winner of Series 3. The gas-powered flipper is one of the strongest weapons we've ever seen. Top seeds for the main competition here, it'll create Chaos 2. And at the controls of Chaos 2, George Francis, a self-employed electronics engineer, and a Robot Wars legend, Crocodilotron, Sonic, Big Cheese, Trident, Mace, Firestorm, Hypnodisc. It didn't matter who was against it in the last series. Have a look at this for power against the Firestorm. Over, and out you go. That's Chaos 2. That's the power. Not even Hypnodisc could stop it.
Hi, we're Chaos 2 team, hoping to flip our way through the Annihilator round. I'm George, this is Ian, and his son Richard.
Main features of our robot are very good traction and an extremely powerful flipper. That's why we're the number 1 seed.
Roboteers, stand by.
Plenty of opposition, though, from Suicidal Tendencies and Spikosaurus there. And Stinger, of course. All 3 teams together in the one cabin. Suicidal Tendencies on the left. There's Big Stuart Pearson of Spikosaurus and Carl Skinner of Stinger. Dominator 2, the Cambridgeshire team. They all work together. And Kilohertz, the reigning domestic champions, Chaos 2. There's George Francis on the right-hand side. Kilohertz in the middle. Dominator 2 on the left.
3, 2, 1.
This is going to be chaos. Good luck, everyone. There's Chaos 2 immediately on the attack. Dominator 2 in there as well with a big action. Dominator 2 flicked up on its side by Suicidal Tendencies. Suicidal Tendencies nearly went over at the same time. Let's have a look at it again. Chaos 2 in the midst of it all. Up went Dominator 2 and over. Suicidal Tendencies very nearly flicked up, but don't forget, it can work both sides up the track. Suicidal Tendencies, there's Kilohertz with its axe as well. You can see Bash retreating into its CPZ, and why not? Stinger with the axe in there as well. Chaos 2 with the CO2-powered battering ram. Dominator 2's okay. Whoa, there's the reigning champions, Chaos 2, slamming in on Suicidal Tendencies. Kilohertz is in there as well. Here comes Dominator 2, bottom of your picture. Now, it seems to me that Spikosaurus is in a little bit of trouble, but okay now. Goodness me, look at that. There's Spikosaurus in there. You've got Chaos 2 as well. Dominator 2, the bottom of your picture. Stinger doing its own thing as it's wont to do. That's Spikosaurus in major trouble. Seems to me that Kilohertz is holding on. Tendencies comes in. Stinger now under threat from Chaos 2. Turning away. And Spikosaurus has been impaled by the axe of Kilohertz. Kilohertz 2! Flicked over by Dominator 2. Axe to axe. Metal to metal. Bash and crash. Smash. What is happening out there? The hopes and dreams about to be scuttled of one in the Annihilator. It's Kilohertz up on its side and bounce. And just about came down okay, using its axe to right itself. Almost kilohertz. Then in goes Spikosaurus. Kilohertz. Okay now, Stinger in with a slam on Chaos 2. Chaos 2 in underneath Kilohertz again. They think Kilohertz is the vulnerable machine. Chaos 2 against the arena wall and is impaled, is it? Can George Francis get that flipper off? Well, Dominator 2, a little nudge helped out. The object, boys, is to destroy each other. I wonder if Dominator 2 will rue that little bit of friendship. Look at the crashing of the axes. The flipper there. You've got suicidal tendencies trundling. Once again, Kilohertz trying to right itself into the CPZ, flicked in there by Chaos 2. And so far for me, Kilohertz has been the most punished robot. It's into the CPZ, it's stuck in there. Of course, all three teams together in the one cabin. Suicidal tendencies on the left. There's Big Stuart Pearson of Spikosaurus and Carl Skinner of Stinger. Dominator 2, the Cambridgeshire team. They all work together. And Kilohertz, the reigning domestic champions, Chaos 2. There's George Francis on the right-hand side. Kilohertz in the middle. Dominator 2 on the left.
3, 2, 1.
This is going to be chaos. Good luck, everyone. There's Chaos 2 immediately on the attack. Dominator 2 in there as well with a big action. Dominator 2 flicked up on its side by suicidal tendencies. Suicidal tendencies nearly went over at the same time. Let's have a look at it again. Chaos 2 in the midst of it all. Up went Dominator 2 and over. Suicidal tendencies very nearly flicked up, but don't forget, it can work both sides up the track. Suicidal tendencies. There's Kilohertz with its axe as well. You can see Bash retreating into its CPZ, and why not? Stinger with the axe in there as well. Chaos 2 with the CO2-powered battering ram. Dominator 2's okay. Whoa, there's the reigning champions, Chaos 2, slamming in on suicidal tendencies. Kilohertz is in there as well. Here comes Dominator 2, bottom of your picture. Now it seems to me that Spikosaurus is in a little bit of trouble, but okay now. Goodness me, look at that. There's Spikosaurus in there. You've got Chaos 2 as well. Dominator 2, the bottom of your picture. Stinger doing its own thing as it's wont to do. That's Spikosaurus in major trouble. Seems to me that Kilohertz is holding on. Tendencies comes in. Stinger now under threat from Chaos 2. Turning away. And Spikosaurus has been impaled by the axe of Kilohertz. Kilohertz 2! Flicked over by Dominator 2. Axe to axe. Metal to metal. Bash and crash. Smash. What is happening out there? The hopes and dreams about to be scuttled have won in the Annihilator. It's Kilohertz up on its side and bounce and bounce. And just about came down okay, using its axe to right itself. Almost Kilohertz. Then in goes Spikosaurus. Kilohertz. Okay now, Stinger in with a slam on Chaos 2. Chaos 2 in underneath Kilohertz again. They think Kilohertz is the vulnerable machine. Chaos 2 against the arena wall and is impaled, is it? Can George Francis get that flipper off? Well, Dominator 2, a little nudge helped out. The object, boys, is to destroy each other. I wonder if Dominator 2 will rue that little bit of friendship. Look at the crashing of the axes. The flipper there. You've got suicidal tendencies trundling. Once again, Kilohertz trying to right itself into the CPZ, flicked in there by Chaos 2. And so far for me, Kilohertz has been the most punished robot. It's into the CPZ, it's stuck in there. And Kilohertz trying to flick, trying to turn itself over with that pneumatically powered axe. But Kilohertz in major trouble. Chaos 2 comes in with a slam. And bam! And Kilohertz 2, I think, is going to be first to go in the Annihilator. Each round, one crashes out, piggyback up on Chaos 2 as it's immobilised for 30 seconds or more. If it goes to the judges, the rest of them just staying out of trouble. Bash comes in for a look. There's Dominator 2 with the pickaxe. This Stinger... Stinger loves a little bit of a rumble and a tussle. Sometimes I don't know what the Stinger boys are doing. I don't think they know what they're doing either. Dominator 2 out there. Chaos 2 as well. Kilohertz. Well, back in the thick of the action. And we still have all six competing. Chaos 2 takes punishment right through the front flipper there from Dominator 2. The wheels of the Dominator spin, but Chaos 2 is in all sorts of problems now. Top of the picture, Spikosaurus. And suicidal tendency. In comes Dominator again. And suddenly it's the Chaos top seeds, the reigning UK champions, who are up against it. Now we've got a push and shove. At top of the picture, they've dominated 2 in Spigosaurus. Kilohertz, I thought they were out, but they're back in really in the thick of things. So are Chaos 2 now. You've got the house robots into play in that CPZ. Look at this, a real tug of war here, and still they battle on bravely. Not one machine will give up, but Chaos 2 has taken unprecedented damage from the axe of Kilohertz. Look at this again, it's Dominator 2 inflicting punishment 1 and 2, and the Perspex comes off the bat there of Chaos 2, which means now, of course, the machinery, the very heart of Chaos, is vulnerable to attack. Dominator 2 lifts that Perspex lid up like some grisly scalp trophy. Chaos 2, they're all after the reigning UK champions, it seems. They're ganging up. Get rid of the strongest machine, get rid of the favourite. We'll gang up, and we'll see who goes through. Dominator 2 in space, about to come in for an attack, but Chaos 2. George Francis, I don't think he knows what's hit him. You've now got Shunt in there to create more damage. Stinger, the axe comes battering down on Shunt, but it's Chaos 2. All of a sudden, the likely machine to go out of the first stage of the Great Annihilator, the northern section. In goes Spigosaurus to try and push suicidal tendencies out of the melee, out of the mayhem. Chaos 2 is their movement, is their life. Goodness me, I don't think there was. He doesn't either. The team again in the same cubbyhole. There's Carl Skinner on the right-hand side, Stuart Pearson. And then Andrew Jeffrey and Charles Binns with suicidal tendencies. There's Dominator 2. Looked good, didn't it? Kilohertz, slightly vulnerable, but the axe came into play. A little bit more room in their cubbyhole. Dominator 2 on the right. And John Reed at the controls of Kilohertz.
2, 1, activate.
I wonder if 9-year-old Richard Swan from Chaos 2 has passed on his lucky stone to someone else. Stinger, perhaps. Immediately punished and a little bit lucky to survive, some might say. The drive from Kilohertz into the CPZ. Stinger now arriving on the scene in the middle of the melee. You've got Spigosaurus to the left-hand side. Dominator 2 again, this time clutching hold of Stinger almost on the axle. Spigosaurus trying to get those 2 front ramming, prodding spikes underneath the opponents. Then there were 5. This is Kilohertz under pressure from Dominator 2 with the bi-wedge shape. Impressive so far. The axe comes down on Kilohertz and on the arena floor. There you've got Spigosaurus, game so far, attacking Kilohertz up by the CPZ, and the others have sent here. The Kilohertz can again be in trouble. Look at the axe, it's smacked straight down through the split in the, well, see-through shell of Kilohertz, and you can see all in there now, in grisly detail. Kilohertz freeing itself with its own axe. Not the first time we've seen that in the Annihilator. It's dogged and determined, to say the least. Spigosaurus' game, isn't it? Unwise to take on the Sergeant in the big game, though. Stinger's axe comes down. They've stayed out of trouble. In fact, we haven't seen a great deal of them. I wonder, you know, if that initial onslaught affected Stinger. We're going to check on the manoeuvrability of it in a minute. Meanwhile, the Sergeant comes in and attacks. Poor old Kilohertz. Everyone's been after them. Yes, Kilohertz pins its axe onto the flamethrower of the Sergeant. Look at that, he's been dragged around the arena floor on the shell of the Sergeant. It is actually Dominator 2 gives a little shunt and a bash. But Stinger, do you see there? I think Stinger going around in circles. I wonder if they've lost traction, manoeuvrability in one of those customised motorbike wheels. The flame scorches Kilohertz shell. Matilda comes in for a little bit of the action. But to me, you can just see the axe, but a little more of Stinger. In comes Dominator 2, suicidal tendencies in there as well, with the tracks moving away, so they're all right. We know Dominator 2's okay because we can see the axe. We know Kilohertz hanging on for grim death with the Sergeant, and flammable, it would seem, surviving the flame torch pit. Now, Matilda just gives Kilohertz a little bit of a nudge up and over. Kilohertz will have to use the big axe to right itself. Now, go on! John Reed, great design this, great driving up and over, and that could be crucial. Kilohertz could just have survived right at the end. And there's Pussycat, David Gribble at the controls, Alan, his father, in there, and Robert Bettington. And our final house robots in the show, Dead Metal, those pincers so threatening, that saw so destructive, and his pal Sir Killalot, huge, ominous, heavy of heart. Why? Killalot, we must talk, sit down, chat, go over things, sort it out.
3, 2, 1.
Pussycat from the right-hand side, Stinger, spinning as we know they will do, with Kevin Scott and Carl Skinner and Tim Mann at the controls, and Pussycat's gone over the blade, impaled on the arena floor. That is the strength and power of the blade, and did you see the slice out of the arena, coming back on the attack? For me, Pussycat has to be among the top 2 or 3 robots in the world right now, not just the UK. Chasing Stinger down onto the sidewall, Stinger spinning crazily once again. And oh, is it too crazy? I think I saw some padding out of the tyre. Let's have a look to see if there's padding coming out of the tyre, because if there is, it means the actual remote control aerial which is in there is now suspect and maybe damaged. Are they out of control? We'll wait and see. Or is it just good but superficial damage caused by the Pussycat blade? Well, that's a controlled attack by Stinger, so I think you've got your answer. Down comes the bludgeoning device, the mace, the spike, call it what you will, of the Stinger team. Kevin Scott at the controls. Pussycat wheels away to come in with another attack. He said, well, David Gribble said he was going to rip out that control link, remember, earlier in the programme? He hasn't lived up to that boast so far. That's very good driving again, though, by Pussycat. Into reverse, turning, coming back. Little body feint dummy. Drawing Stinger on now, but drawn on to the pincers of Dead Metal very nearly, and Stinger is really coming back into this with a couple of bashes with the bludgeoning device. Again, closing down the angle. Pussycat turning to come back on the attack once again, trying to get at that rear axle of Stinger. Stinger dodges, down comes the bludgeon. This is a very, very good battle. You can see the damage there onto one of the tyres of Stinger. Do you see it? As it goes away to live, to fight another day together. Mutual respect perhaps in the arena there, eyeing each other up. In comes Stinger. Not a good attack. Went wayward to one side. Again, Pussycat dodging. Very good driving by young David Gribble to dodge the mace. This is too close for me to call, I think. Something's come out there of the tyre, a bit of padding. In comes Pussycat. I might have done just enough if it goes to the judges. Still time, though, for Stinger to come back with a couple of mighty swings of that mace. Pussycat frontal attack this time. The cat's claws rip into Stinger. The cat dodges nimbly to one side. Puts the brakes on, almost like a handbrake turn there. Oh, it goes to the judges. That was a mighty battle, wasn't it? Launched into the arena for this vengeance contest. 2 of our own masters of mayhem, Sir Killalot, no weaknesses, and standing shoulder to shoulder, Dead Metal with the electric saw and ready to guffaw. Stinger with Kevin Scott at the controls and Andrew Marchant, the captain of Tornado.
3, 2, 1.
Scott, an electroacoustic engineer, and indeed part of the weaponry of Tornado came from a loudspeaker production line. Stinger slamming down with that bludgeoning spike, turning quickly. You get up to 18 miles an hour. It's the faster of these 2 robots. Tornado with the lower centre of gravity, nibbling away, nudging towards the flame pit. Angered at Giants, and it's just a box on wheels. And throughout this series of Robot War Extreme, the vengeance battles give plenty of opportunity for teams to get their own back. Tornado with a new cutting disc, and I think that cutting disc just flipped Stinger up in the air. That was a good attack by Tornado. Let's have a look at it again. Watch that cutting disc. It's an innovation for this series. Stinger bounces down and can drive each way up. It's not technically a 3-mech. Andrew Marchant's Tornado can also drive either way up, and it drives Stinger now into the corner control zone and into the clutches of Dead Metal. Oh, and just out. Stinger, that's a great thumping crunch down on Dead Metal. He loved it, didn't he? I love his hair. Look at that. Down comes the great bludgeon on Dead Metal. And a poke in the eye for one of the house robots there from Stinger. It's the more aggressive of these, though. I wonder what the Robo-Ref thinks about that as it looks on. You can see there from the control box of the Tornado team. Plenty of work going on. Tornado across the flame pit. That's the Stinger boys, Kevin Scott, Carl Skinner and Tim Mann. Frantic use of the controls, good steering. Tornado again, the aggressor. It's a thumping bash Stinger gave Dead Metal up there, and Dead Metal's obviously hot under the collar and comes out after Tornado this time, wanting vengeance of its own. Dead Metal. Look at this, comes out, gets the claws around Tornado, gets the saw onto the basic frame of Tornado as well, and smoke came up from the welded steel chassis of Tornado. They seem okay now. Dead Metal is very much part of the war zone now. Tornado still nudging away at the Stinger. Elusive Stinger, difficult to deal with. That's Kill-A-Lot. Look at those great claws. Oh, yes! Got Stinger by the chassis, by the axle. Ho-ho! Stinger, you're going out of the arena, or into a flame pit, or into the pit of oblivion. Oh, no, he's saying. No, yes, 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 yes. Get the wig off and get out of the arena. No! Ooh, you are so lucky, Stinger. And the Stinger fan club can breathe a huge sigh of relief. That's a mighty fan club. There are the two of them, Stinger and Tornado, together. Tornado locking horns with Stinger. This is a great battle, isn't it? This is why we've lined up the vengeance battles for you in Robot Wars Extreme. The best of the robots pitted together. Tornado slamming into Stinger once again. Very even battle, I think, here. They've both shown great aggression and control. Little bit of damage, perhaps, there to one of the tyres. Can you see what I'm talking about there? Oh, time running out. Refbot counting up to the 10 to count them out. 6. Too close to call. It goes to the judges. And as usual, two house robots. Dead Metal has a chance to get it. Behemoth again after being red-carded earlier in the show against him. And, of course, Sir Kill-A-Lot will always thunder, roar and menace. And as the two teams prepare, Anthony Pritchard's at the controls of Behemoth. And there Kevin Scott, the team captain of Stinger. The green light from Refbot. And we're off and underway. Stinger swings and pivots. Just almost caresses that bucket scoop at the front of Behemoth with the mighty bludgeoning mace. There you see what I was alluding to earlier on. Does it spin out of control, or is that controlled aggression by Kevin Scott at the controls of Stinger? That's a good attack. Slamming down on the bucket scoop. But it just comes forward and forward, Behemoth. Rarely retreats. Irrepressible. Just another shove, forward momentum, and in the end it has pinned Stinger onto the arena wall. Just drove almost like a sheepdog in the pen, pushing the animal where it wants it to go, in this case into the CPZ. There's Kill-A-Lot, and now Behemoth quite rightly gets away from trouble. No wonder, but Stinger hasn't. It's dallied too long in the CPZ, and that means that Sir Kill-A-Lot once again can grapple at the very axle of Stinger, and you can hear that buzzer going off. That means Behemoth has pressed the pit release button. There goes the pit, look, it's opened up. I don't think Stinger has been immobilised yet, so Kill-A-Lot couldn't push Stinger down into the pit. No, he's had to let him go. Once I caught a fish alive. Why did you let him go? Because he's absolutely no idea where I'm going on this one, then. Sorry about that, but my embarrassment has been saved anyway. I Behemoth on the attack, pushing Stinger away from the pit, ironically, getting his body in the way of Stinger in the pit, and allowing the Stinger mace to once again come herring down. Behemoth a little push beyond the great steam jet from the arena floor. Stinger onto the arena sidewalls by the angle. Right in comes Behemoth, lifting and thrusting. Perhaps he was just delaying tactics to get it up on the great bulldozer. Look at this. And Stinger almost into the pit on that occasion. Very, very close. Oh, and nearly again. It's on its last wheels. It's in. At long last, Stinger goes down and Behemoth have kept the challenge belt. Splendid stuff. They didn't lose their way. I did.
3.
3 terrific robots here. Only one survives and goes through to our Annihilator. 3 of the very best, though. Stinger, I love it. just slams that great mace down, and Behemoth is turned over by Thermidor. One of the most improved robots we've seen around, Thermidor. Behemoth and Stinger smashing into one another, but this is the moment when Thermidor flips Behemoth up and over. Only 1.5 centimetres of ground clearance, but they found that gap, Thermidor. Stinger spins. Thermidor again on Behemoth, they're out of the arena, they've gone! Look at that, 95 kilos simply dumped out of the arena. Bang! They're almost unbeatable, Behemoth. Until this moment. Great power from Thermidor. There goes the siren, which means the pit is being lowered. And one of these will go into it. I bet even George Francis of the Chaos team is taking note of Thermidor this time around. Stinger's mace, Thermidor's lifter. Who's going to win this one? Stinger in on the side wall of the arena, tries to hop away from Thermidor, maybe just stay out of trouble. Thermidor needs to dodge the flames, can get through to the electronic controls for 12-volt batteries on Stinger. Thermidor with 24 volts in there as well. There's the pit waiting. It's gone all a little bit quiet now. Thermidor may well think David Harding and Ian Harvey is driving. They've done enough, but they've done even more. Stinger's gone. They've got both of them out. Thermidor, last man standing, the only one in. There went Stinger out of the arena. That was mightily impressive by the Lobster.
Let's see.
Basically, the message of the Wild Card Warriors: come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. If you think you can take on one of our all-star veterans. And that's what AJ think they can do here. Low centre of gravity, of course. 25 centimetres off the war zone floor. Dodging away from the great bludgeoning axe of Stinger. As for the weapons of the AJ team, I thought those arms were supposed to come out and flail. I don't think they are at all. Well, I worried about that. Comes in on a driving attack, hits Stinger, and also goes into the tyre release button, which releases the pit of oblivion there, you can see. It's a new feature for Robot Wars Extreme. Crashing and bashing around AJ. Dashing around the arena floor. But is there control? Is there any aim to this? Stinger tries an attack with the axe. Hits the arena floor. That's a problem with Stinger. The control of the weaponry by Kevin Scott, Carl Skinner and Tim Mann has deserted him in the past. Where's AJ going here? AJ! 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 Okay. KO? I think so. Driving straight into the claws of Killalot. Liam Ryan, well, he had the boast, but his robot, I'm afraid, has not made the most of this experience. Or has it? Can it come again? AJ turning, spinning away from Stinger. It's not been the best display from Stinger, let's be honest. Again, crashing down with that great mace. Spiked mace, if you like. It can bludgeon, it can ram, it can pierce and penetrate. And AJ's weaponry can do absolutely nothing. There it is, AJ on the arena side. The underdogs have come here, though, with plenty of pluck, determination and courage, and we'll give them credit for that. Weighs 100 kilos, AJ, against the 83 kilos of Stinger. There's Liam Ryan at the control. Loves his cricket, does Liam. He's not knocking Stinger for 6 here, though. In wide of the mark on a couple of occasions. Stinger into the CPZ, could be in trouble here, though. Again, Killalot, we've seen this before when Killalot's managed to grapple a hold of Stinger. They've done all the work, but it looks as if they could get tossed out of the arena here. But Killalot's got to beat the clock. The clock is ticking down. Can Stinger survive? Can Stinger stay in? I think they've just stayed in. Out of the arena they go. But I think it was after time, in which case Killalot was bang out of order there. We should go to the judges. We should go to the judges, Craig. There's the 3. Here come R2. Shunt first of all against the Scorpion with that cutting disc at the back. Shunt beginning to move away from Scorpion. There's Stinger being thrust away by Dead Metal. Well, they're very brave to go in against our house robots. We know that because house robots are out of the CPZs. They can do whatever they want in this. No holds barred. We've got the flipper as well. Sorry, didn't we tell you about that? Ha! Too late now, isn't it? To find out what we've got up our sleeve. We've got weapons like that and axle grinders and flamethrowers and torches and goodness knows what. We're not going to lose this, let me tell you. There's Dead Metal in on Stinger. Now beginning to be a little bit frightened, are we? Stinger activates the pit button. Who's going to go down there? Is that a little bit rash? Scorpion being tagged. Who had a go at the red bot there? He's not part of it. Shunt with a little push and Plunderbird have gone. Well, they were hardly in the action there at all, were they? Brian Kilburn and Mike Onslow. There's Stinger, but Dead Metal is making a cursory glance, rather cumbersome push as well, and Shunt has the Scorpion of Jeff Smith and John Bell and his daughter Sarah. Scorpion has been pinched and stung. Stinger's still alive, just about. Scorpion can't get away. Stinger's been clutched by Dead Metal. The wheels are spinning, but there's no one at home, boys. Down in the pit they cry. The Scorpion's on the flame pit. Again, you see, we hold all the aces. Were you brave or were you foolhardy? Who volunteers these days for anything? You did. Ha-ha, we've got you now, says Dead Metal. Stinger in the clutches. Oh! And we forgot to give you another little item of news. We can bring on a substitute, like Matilda. Bye-bye, Scorpion. Yes, our sting in the tail was our sub, our super sub, the pretty Matilda. And Stinger's all that's left, and there's little left of Stinger. Inside those wheel-ups, all the electrics and all the mechanics and all the machinery. And we're going to mash it and bash it and tear it and slice it. Dead Metal's in there as well. Matilda comes in with the flywheel spinning. Down, down, go, go, go. Only 7 seconds for Stinger to survive. But we have our revenge. The house robots came out to play. In the control pod, Kevin Scott, Carl Skinner, Tim Mann and Hippopotamus. At the controls, Richie McBride, and there with him 8-year-old Alex, 6-year-old Ellen. You can barely peep over the rim to see Dead Metal in the arena. And Sir Kill-A-Lot alongside.
3, 2, 1, activate.
On paper, you'd have to say there could be only one winner of this battle, the more experienced Stinger. Trying to wind up a Fury with that bludgeoning device. Hippopotamus made out of a child's sandpit, essentially. But this is Robot Wars, and we've seen giant upsets in the past. Sparks fly from the grinders on the arena sidewalls. The Hippo sails through the flame pit, trying to stay away from Stinger, and surviving the original onslaught, but not the second one. Bits of the sandpit flew off there. They were hoping to cement a place in the next round, but I don't think that's going to happen now. And it looks as if Stinger will go through, but look at the Hippo staying in there, turning away. Alex McBride, 8 years of age, operating the weaponry. Hasn't been really able to get it into play yet, that spinning disc on the long arm. Stinger again, an almighty onslaught up to 18 miles an hour, top speed generated by this machine. Grand finalist in the last series. And Hippopotamus now clawed by Dead Metal, trying to slice their way through the top there of the Hippo. Looking worried, Richie McBride, a managing director of corporate business development firm. And the top has been separated from the actual belly of the machine, if you like. You can see the innards of Hippopotamus. The head is waggling because it's barely connected, to be honest. Stinger now, all back into the CPZ. Now can we yet see a surprise if Kill-A-Lot grapples hold of Stinger? What a mistake to make. They reversed in there and maybe the clock will save them. So Kill-A-Lot hoists Stinger up. Well, that was very nearly suicidal driving by Stinger. And they could just survived because it came about so late. We'll go to a judge's decision, I would have thought. Heat final then. The ref bot checks our two competitors. General Carnage, they're in the control booth. Dad Nigel, Mum Sarah, little Nick, 10 years of age. Great reception for them. Stinger, Carl Skinner and Tim Mann there in the control booth. Bludgeoning device, watch for that. The house robot certainly will. Shunt has a little bit of a problem not being able to self-right. Hasn't really been tested. And Sir Killalot can crush, can spear, can push. Just about anything.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Stinger spins, whirls, sometimes looks out of control. Made it through to the grand final in the last series, dismissed in round 1 of the grand final by Chaos 2. And there you can see the spinning power. 81 kilos there, spinning madly, with the spike on the end of that great bludgeoner. Not causing any problems, and this has been a worry for Stinger in the past, and General Carnage looks patient and measured out there. The aggression is from Stinger. Should it eventually go to the judges, General Carnage has other ideas, has sharp teeth along either side of that front flipper, the 3 horns as well on top. Neither side at the moment causing any great damage, and General Carnage very slow to progress. Can get up to 10 miles an hour, they tell me, by the next millennium it looks like. The Stinger on the attack again, slamming down. I'm worried about General Carnage here, they don't seem to be moving at all. The ref bot's worried as well, look. Staring behind General Carnage, have they been immobilised? Has there been a transmission problem, a control problem? They're going to be counted down. Oh, how disappointing for Nigel Seeley, an agricultural engineer by trade. And Stinger will go through because General Carnage are counted out. In comes Sir Killalot as the ref bot backs away, and Shunt to come down with a diamond-edged axe, spearing there the armour of General Carnage once and twice. A slice is nice, dismissed in a trice. General Carnage, Sir Killalot does rule, you're right. Well, hasn't caused too much carnage, let's be honest. Fought in Series 3 as well. Didn't go beyond the heat. And the team put forward Prometheus in an earlier war too. And once again, they've fallen short in a heat. General Carnage about to go down into the pit. Tail end, Sir Killalot, poised and controlled.
Cease.
That's the end of the General.
Cranston, Stinger. From Dunisthorpe, S3.
Leicestershire against Lincolnshire. What a final this is going to be. Mightily impressive S3. There's the Stinger team. Kevin Scott, Carl Skinner, Tim Mann. With the spare bludgeoning device. A mascot, a trophy. Will David Barkley and Pritchard and Pete Alsop and the S3 team take it away from them, though?
Roboteers, stand by.
We put into the arena Shunt to give the other two a bit of a nudge. And Sir Killalot, he's got past history with Stinger. They don't like each other.
3, 2, 1, activate.
The green light for go. Stinger attacking, spinning. Will try and stay out of reach of that hugely powerful 1,000 RPM, 20 kilo, 18-inch diameter snatch weapon, they call it, because there are 2 3-inch teeth on that circular blade to draw opponents on, to snatch them away from a possible victory. And S3 pursuing here. Stinger towards the arena side wall. Stinger, as we know it can, spins away, but look at the weight there of S3 behind the attack, 100 kilos. In comes Shunt as well, because they're in a CPZ. That's where the house robots can play. And Shunt tried to axe down on Stinger, and Stinger almost pushed, or perhaps driving into the pit release button. So down goes the pit of doom. S3 looks purposeful, menacing, relentless in its pursuit of its quarry. Stinger still trying to get the bludgeoning mace down. That's the S3 team. New boys with this machine, though in Series 2 and Series 3 they were represented by Sting. This is Stinger against the arena sidewall, and in peril there, and now S3 attacking the vulnerable tyres of Stinger, and Stinger seems to be wedged in there, and I wonder if damage has been caused to all the electrics within the hubs. Beneath those hubcaps, Carl Skinner, Tim Mann and Kevin Scott know that the electrics can be vulnerable. They've been immobilised, Stinger, and they are being counted out. And right from the word go in this heat, we thought S3 had pedigree. And S3 had recorded a famous victory. Stinger counted out for Carl and Tim and Kevin Scott. Been in round 1 in Series 3, grand finalists in Series 4. And here, no disgrace in defeat against a very good machine. I don't think Stinger deserves that. Not at the end. Been a very good and worthy competitor on Robot Wars. But we love our little final flourish and fly them through the air. Exactly. And don't forget Stinger. No prizes for finishing second. Black there on the left, captained by John Denny. Chompalot, captained by Simon Cook. And on the left, Thermidor 2, David Harding's the captain, and Stinger with Kevin Scott leading his team. So Killalot leads our house robots into the fray in the arena. Ooh. And Dead Metal. Go on, give us a smile, Dead Metal.
3, 2, 1.
So, are we watching for 13 Black here? Or Thermidor 2? Or the seeded Stinger? Great battle. Chompalot, newcomers. Meanwhile, Stinger top left there, getting involved in early action with Thermidor 2. 13 Black away, the pit release activated very early on. Thermidor 2 spinning very closely. Stinger, you never know what to expect with them, and just on the edge. It is difficult to control, and 13 Black nearly took the initiative there on the advantage, and very nearly shoved Stinger down. Chompalot onto one wheel of 13 Black, getting a grip. Good weapons work from 9-year-old James Cook at the controls. And I think Thermidor is in trouble. Chompalot keeps up the attack. There you can see their team with Stinger, but Thermidor, they look perplexed. And the rep bot is counting them down and out as immobilised. Funny thing is, I think the weapon's still working. There it is, Thermidor. Wait, so yes, it is. Flipped up Dead Metal. 13 Black. Well controlled. But in the thick of trouble there is Thermidor. There is 13 Black now with Chompalot. Now, is Chompalot moving? For me, Thermidor 2's already been counted out, so whatever you see from that machine now is irrelevant. It certainly is now. And 13 Black on the flame pit. Question for me, how active is Chompalot? You see there the front beak-type jaws have been bent and buckled. 13 Black, certainly the one to watch. And Stinger throughout, just ponderous here. Look, the ponderous pendulum has stayed out of trouble. Chompalot is being counted out. Look flamboyant with the wings and everything, but there's no more huff and puff in that dragon. And you're about to find out a harsh lesson in Robot Wars. The dragons, I'm afraid, have long since been extinct. 13 Black and Dead Metal. A blam and a slam, unlucky for some. Well, 13 Black has proved that for Chompalot, but what a very good first effort from the Cook family. It's a vibrant-looking machine, or it was, I should say. It's not too vibrant now. There goes the floor flipper. The dragonflies. Dragonflies. We make this up as we go along. Chompalot on the floor. It'll be okay to fight another day, I hope. Not today, but it was a valiant effort. The knights in shining armour didn't do it. The house robots eventually did. Chompalot and Thermidor 2 go out. And Matilda, gorgeous in comparison. Ooh, did I say that?
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Terrific battle here. Stinger, you just never know what's going to happen with that mighty mace. I mean, look. Is it easy to control, or are they just bad drivers? But when the mace comes down, Fluffy, watch out! Fluffy, meanwhile, has that 20-kilo spinner at the front, which looks devilishly destructive. The Stinger boys look on, and already it's even Stevens. Fluffy trying to get at those exposed tyres of Stinger. Within the hub slide, all the electronics, the 750-watt motor in each wheel, the battery system. Stinger, one wheel is working and one wheel has ground to a halt. Fluffy waiting its moment to come onto the attack. Stinger is going around in circles and that's just about it. Fluffy's first attack really of this second round clash caused so much damage. Is the wheel working now? Yes, they're okay again. They're okay again. Down comes the mace. Loose contact, I don't know, but they're all right now, I think, Stinger. Fluffy onto the flame pit. Now Stinger needs to work hard to get back, just in case it goes to a judge's decision. Fluffy with the steel frame. Difficult to penetrate, very destructive as well. But taking punishment from Stinger, I don't know how much destructive punishment. Down comes the mace again. Bang! Slam! Where's Fluffy going now? Seems to have lost some speed. Can get up to 20 miles an hour when all is okay, but the Stinger boys, Kevin, Tim and Carl, making sure that Fluffy is having a few problems now. And they've driven themselves into the CPZ, and down comes the hammer of Mr. Psycho at 60 miles an hour, and with 30 kilos of weight, that hammer. It might miss once. Stay in there and get you. That's why Fluffy has come out. But Stinger here now, very much on top. You wouldn't have thought that a couple of minutes ago. Down comes the mace again. Kevin Scott, the captain, slamming down with the mace. It looks like a mighty pendulum, and the pendulum in this battle has certainly swung towards Stinger. Grand finalists in Series 4, they lost to Chaos 2, and Stinger are heading through because Fluffy are being counted out. Started this battle so well, but Peter Holroyd, Peter Johnson and Richard, the 18-year-old, are heading out gone. And Matilda just has a little lurk and a feel and a grope. What devilish design is going through that mechanical brain? Oh no. Oh no. Not Psycho's hammer. Ah, the floor flipper. Oh, that's all right then. Bang! Stinger, stay out of trouble. If I was you, you have more battles to come. Fluffy doesn't.
Stand by.
In the arena for the house robots in this heat final, dead metal. And the other CPZ. Ooh, Sir Kilowatt. Look at those claws.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
How much damage has been sustained by these robots earlier on in competition? 13 black. We've already seen how one of those spinning disc weapons was immobilized in its second round clash. Stinger with the mighty mace, standing tall, looking. Down comes the mace. See the sparks fly there. Is it caught on the side of 13 black? Again a slam, but no damage done to that main body of 13 black. Got to try and get the mace in underneath one of those wheels, I think. 13 black on it. Oh, something's come off. Stinger there. You can just see it lying on the arena floor. What is it? Anything vital or superficial? They came in looking for the tyres, and certainly something came off Stinger there. We'll wait and see if that has damaged its manoeuvrability. Doesn't seem so yet. But 13 Black is on the attack. And the spinning disc button has been released. In the centre of the arena, you'll see a disc spinning around. It can throw robots away, off track. 13 Black, very much on track here. And on their way, if it stays like this, to a famous heat victory. The Stinger team are up against it here. They simply can't get any damage done. They whirl and twirl, trying to get themselves into a frenetic frenzy. But 13 Black, stylish and controlled themselves, backing away from any trouble, then coming in on another attack. John Denny at the controls of 13 Black, beaten in Robot Wars 5 in the heats by Corkscrew. Doing well here. Stinger again trying to work up some sort of momentum to get the mace at its finest and most destructive, but it's not getting any purchase on 13 Black. 13 Black turns away. Stinger's mace hangs a little bit limp. He's controlled his machine very well, John Denny. Both weapons are still working. Could well go to the judges, this on style, control, damage and aggression. They'd have to vote. Well, that's not good driving, 13 Black. They were in no peril and they went straight onto the flame pit. That'll count against them. And again, Stinger now coming in. Perhaps they sense that something's gone wrong with 13 Black. As the fight turns, oh, Stinger! In trouble! Drove into the CPZ! Sekilala has them by the mace. Cease is called, they may have been... Mr. Psycho. 2, 1. Lightning is first out with Nasty Humphrey. I advised the Humphrey boys to come back with a better machine after they were dumped in the 4th series of the UK Championships, and they have come back with a better machine. You wouldn't believe it, though, would you? Lightning very quick onto the attack. It wasn't a forked attack. It was straight in there, and it wasn't a bolt out of the blue either. You could see it coming, Lightning's attack, and Nasty Humphrey in peril from Mr. Psycho and getting away. Just about. Oh, don't go back on the attack on him, whatever you do. For a minute, though, I thought they were about to commit suicide. Lightning pushes under Nasty Humphrey. Did you see? Stinger thirsting for action and waiting to come into the fray. Not necessary. Just see the back there of John Willoughby and Jackie. Jackie Willoughby, the weapons operator on Steel Avenger, very experienced, still watching on. It's still Nasty Humphrey and Lightning at this moment in time. They can tag if they want to. Very even between the two of them, though. Nasty Humphrey with what doesn't look like a very strong axe weapon, to be honest. Lightning, we haven't seen the dual flippers yet. They can tip an opponent left or right. Out comes Stinger. You never quite know with Stinger. Rotates very quickly, flails like some whirling dervish. Difficult to control, has exposed tyres. Is Eliminator, lost to Chaos 2 in a grand final once upon a time. Is out there at the moment, though, very heavy, that sort of mace axe blade at the end of the flailing arm, and taking on Steel Avenger. Worthy opponent, Steel Avenger, down comes their heavy axe. They were a tag team finalist before in Robot Wars. They back away. Steel Avenger can get up to 15 miles an hour, faster than across the arena than Stinger. Slightly the heavier. There goes the pit button, down goes the pit. They love it. And John and Jackie Willoughby, will they push Stinger in with Steel Avenger? Stinger on the brink, and down! Oh, and Steel Avenger follows through and goes down into the pit as well. So they're out of it, leaving Nasty Humphrey and Lightning to fight again. And the bout will end as it started, and it started in fine style, I thought. In slams Lightning, getting in underneath Nasty Humphrey. And away from the CPZ as Psycho came. Look at that enormous claw. Mr. Psycho has the evil glimmer in his eyes. It's horrible, isn't he? Lightning pushing Nasty Humphrey, which is the heavier of the two here, onto the flame pit. The new boys Lightning, new to Robot Wars, doing well thus far. Nasty Humphrey away. This is a worthy contest. And the two more favoured robots, the more experienced robots, let them down! And Nasty Humphrey takes a terrible blow there. from Mr. Psycho's hammer, and up on his side, will it recover? Get away from there, because Psycho's closing down, and the seconds are ticking down towards Season. Ceases called just in time, I think, to save.